Winter day, a yummy meal, big bowl of chili. Well, that can certainly warm up your spirits, but how healthy is that meal? Joining us today is Cone Health dietitian Kate Watts to talk about how to make those really good winter comfort foods and make them healthy. We definitely need that, especially with Super Bowl coming up, all right? And how to get the kids involved in the kitchen as well. All right, so Kate, this is a tall order, but I know that you can handle it, so let's talk about it. How can we transform some of those classic winter comfort foods into healthier versions without compromising all the taste?
Well, a really easy way to increase the health value of your dishes is simply to add more vegetables. So maybe that's adding carrots or bell peppers to your chili. Maybe it's adding some spinach or mushrooms to lasagna or some cabbage or zucchini to soup. So these vegetables are actually going to add more flavor and interest to your dish and also provide that health promoting nutrient boost.
That's right. You're going to get a serving of something else that's really good for you, and you didn't even know that you were going to miss anything. Okay, so what are some affordable and accessible ingredients that we can swap out maybe in recipes to create those more healthy winter meals?
Well, whole grains and beans are both really affordable ways to not only add more nutrition, but also to bulk up your meal, which is going to take your meal further and save you money that way as well. So, thinking about maybe using oats in meatloaf or other baked goods in place of some of the flour, or you can add brown rice and whole wheat pasta to your soups and casseroles. Again, this is going to add fiber and extra nutrition as well as take that meal further for you.
What I love about that is you're adding some things instead of always just taking away things. I think when we think we're going to talk to a dietitian, they're just going to take away stuff. They're not going to add stuff, right? And so you're adding flavor and other good things. All right. A lot of people love chili during the colder months, especially at the parties for the big game, which we're going to see. So recommendations for making chili healthy that still satisfies. You mentioned two things.
Yeah. So my family loves chili this time of year, and my number one recommendation is to avoid these seasoning packets that are really high in sodium. So using chili powder and cumin, some fresh garlic and onion is going to add a lot of flavor too. And then I mentioned adding in more veggies. We typically have tomatoes and onions already there, but think about maybe throwing in some mushrooms or carrots or peppers. And then the other thing to really consider is what kind of meat you're choosing. We can go much leaner with our meat and chili because we're adding moisture back in. So ground turkey or a higher percentage ground beef is going to work really well in a chili. And then lastly, you got to think about your toppings. So maybe, going easy on the cheese and consider a swap of sour cream for, say, like some plain Greek yogurt. And if you really want to get adventurous, you can even go completely vegetarian with your chili using tempeh or lentils instead of meat.
Okay, and no packet because is that have just a whole bunch of sodium? Is that why?
Most of them are going to have a lot of sodium, and if you look at the ingredients, it's spices that you probably already have at home or that you could easily, recreate that blend yourself.
And it's going to be healthier. All right. So if you're having that game day party, we're all going to snack. We know this. So how about giving us some ideas of some more nutritious snacks than maybe the easier ones that we've gravitated to in the past?
Well, personally, I just really like a dip for a party. And my favorite is cowboy caviar. And it's just a really simple, fresh, and flavorful dish made of beans and peppers, corn, and some fresh herbs. Other dips like smoked salmon dip, hummus, buffalo dip, served with some hearty vegetables like your carrot sticks or broccoli or celery. That's going to add some flavor and variety to your game day snack table.
I do love that cowboy caviar, and I put a little bit of avocado in it too.
Oh, yes.
The black beans and the corn. Okay, that's good stuff. All right, for those wanting to make their food heart healthy this winter, just overall heart healthy, let's talk about some ways that we can do that.
Sure. So when we're talking about heart healthy, that really means it's low in saturated fat, low in added sugars, and low in sodium. So that means choosing leaner proteins, leaner meats, or more plant-based whole foods. And it also means flavoring with herbs and spices instead of so much salt. So, for example, if one of your go-to comfort foods is, say, like French fries, then maybe recreating that at home by baking or roasting fresh ingredients and then adding back in that flavor with some heart-healthy oils and those herbs and spices like, say, paprika or rosemary.
Okay, here's my question. A lot of us use air fryers and they don't use oil, but they are air frying. So is that just as good as doing the baking the tater tots or whatever?
Absolutely. I think air frying is a great option. Again, we're just trying to lessen the amount of saturated fat, which is coming from those animal products, solid fats, and also preparing anything that is an animal product in a healthier way. So I think air frying is a great choice, right up there with boiling, grilling, roasting, and baking.
Gotcha. Okay, these are all good things. All right, see, not as bad as you thought when we started the conversation. All good things. All right, we're going to continue this conversation when we come back after the break.